Hi, Professor Tuttle. My name is Neel Thakkar, and I chose to do sports psychology, but also when it's related to soccer. So, first, I'd like to talk about why I picked soccer. So, currently, I play on a competitive soccer team at a really high level, and I also wanted to get a better understanding of soccer, but mainly, I wanted to understand the mental aspects of this sport. And in my free time, not only do I play soccer, but I play basketball, football, and I also go out in the lake sometimes. And sports interest me because it brings out emotions that you don't feel in your daily lives. Because when you're actually playing a sport, you're more determined to win, which results in different emotions such as anger, happiness, and joy. And I also go to stadiums to watch many matches. So, yeah. So, background information. Sports psychology talks about performance, participation, and exercise, and these how these affect the human. And I picked sports psychology because I wanted to understand how it would improve an athlete and how would they apply this knowledge in their daily situations. But in sports psychology for soccer, there's a bit more of a mental aspect in this particular sport that is different from others, such as quick thinking, to have quick decision making, and to have advanced thinking and to be experienced with the ball. And how has sports affected me? So I've been playing since I was 5 years old. So obviously sports has affected me in many ways, such as increasing my focus and confidence. Because the moment I step onto the field, I feel confident. I know what I'm doing because I've been playing for a while, and that mentally prepares myself before the match even starts. And I also deal with many issues, such as being able to juggle a ball for like 50 times. So when I reach towards that goal, I'm motivating myself. So sports affect me by encouraging myself to do better and better, not only in soccer, but also in my daily life. And obviously, everyone in sports goes through pain and gets hurt. But the important part about it is to recover from it, which is what I've learned is that always to keep like a positive mindset. And obviously, to control your anger along the way. So next is the general effects of sports on daily lives. So this is more just about the people who play sports, but how it affects them when they're off the field and not actually playing soccer. So sports can increase your team building, communication, leadership. So when you're on the field, you're obviously communicating with your you're communicating with your teammates to tell them what to do or just trying to build bonds together. But this same can be implied in the real workplace when you're with your colleagues and you're creating social bonds to have a better communication, and you also become a different person. You become more confident. You speak more. You show more leadership towards your work, and that brings out confidence because that way you know what you're doing and you feel like what you're doing is correct. And the effects of soccer on athletes. So soccer is definitely more than just skills. Every skill you perform is made up of your brain composing that decision. So basically, there's many harms to soccer as well. And everyone knows that in soccer you don't use your hands, but what that means is that players also use their head to head the ball. And player-to-player contact was 69% of concussions in boys and 15% in girls. And concussion can lead to unconsciousness, lightheadedness, memory dysfunction, and blurred vision. So soccer can also disrupt your memory, and this can also be very harmful to yourself. The effect of soccer on spectators. So what this means is that an enthusiastic crowd can impact the players on the field. With all the crowd cheering and screaming at the players, this can encourage them to do better. So this way, the spectators are motivating the players on the field because they know that there is a whole nation just relying on them to win. But this can also work the other way around. Spectators can also influence the opposition. So if a away team is playing at a home stadium of the other team, this can really downgrade their game and put pressure upon them because when the team's screaming at them to do bad, this actually can influence them in a harmful way. An important part of sports is the mentality after an injury. And one of the worst moments in sports is when the player experiences an injury because this instantly downgrades their entire mental thought because they think that they won't be able to play again or they're gonna have to wait to play. But the important part is to keep a positive mindset because if you keep a positive mindset, that means you're prepared. That means you're willing and you're looking forward to being able to play again on the field. So in this first picture, we have Cristiano Ronaldo when he gets injured in the final in France. But if you can see in the next photo, after being treated in the locker room, he comes back and shows leadership skills as the captain by leading his team to victory 1-0 over France. So this demonstrates that although he got injured, he still was willing to help his team win, and he was acting as a coach. As you can see to the left of him is the coach. And the ways to improve your game. There are many different ways to improve your game because there are many different techniques and mental strategies you need to reach your goal. And throughout sports, everyone experiences failures. But the important part is overcoming these failures, which involves obviously having a positive mindset, but that also means to keep on trying. If you fail, that means you do not stop. That means you have to keep on trying to continuously improve yourself. And this results in motivating yourself and motivating others, because that way everyone can just improve in general. Dealing with pressure is an important part of the game because when pressure gets to you, this forces you to make unforced errors that you wouldn't normally make. And the major issue is when players focus on their mistakes. During the game, it's important for a player to not realize his own mistakes, but to either ignore it and to keep moving on. And the bad part about sports is when people overthink their mistakes. But sometimes taking your chance without really thinking about the mistakes is best. Emphasizing your own mistakes will just cause you to make them over and over. But the important part is to not think about these mistakes. And the way you can do this is just to keep everything out of your mind. Keep the crowd, school, family, and all worries should be put to aside. Because when you're on the field, you're playing soccer and nothing else, which involves keeping a clear mindset and only concentrating on one thing, which is the sport itself, soccer. And sportsmanship is a very important quality when playing any sport. But the important part is that when you suffer a loss, it's very important to respect the opponent and to show them respect that they actually did win fair and square. And many people, when they lose, they become a sore loser. But this is very bad because in the daily life, when other people are more successful, it's important to not be jealous and to be mad at them, but to rather appreciate them and to really just to applaud them in general. Because if you're gonna be mad on the field, this implies in real life when other people do good, you shouldn't be mad at them. You should just be respectful for their own success. And the main reason we all play sports is for enjoyment. But soccer is referred as a beautiful game and is the most watched game in the world. Soccer is played in many countries, and representing your own country really brings out emotions because you're born in this nation, but you're playing for them. You have hundreds and thousands of people watching you from their homes to just see you play. And the important thing is to enjoy this when you're doing it. So you can see in the first picture, you see Iniesta scoring the game-winning goal in the final, and you can see after the important part is when his all teammates rush to him because they know that they've just won the World Cup. And in the second picture, you can see all the United States supporters supporting their team. And although the USA team isn't very, very good, you can see that their supporters still appreciate them and motivate the players. And in the last picture, we have the Argentinian crowd raising their turquoise flags just in support. And what did I take away from this project? What I took away is really a really important factor of my mentality during the game, and that I should practice making quicker decisions and not to really focus on the mistakes I make. Making quicker decisions will help me flow the game quicker and really just help me improve my game in general. And I understand that I need to keep a positive mindset because when I keep a positive mindset, I'll be able to go further and further, and this will result in me motivating myself when I make a mistake. And the important part that I took away is that soccer prepares me in real life. Because what I mean by this is that if I make a mistake, I know that I need to learn from it. And if I get angry, I can control my emotions because on the field I've experienced much worse. And in reality, it's the same scenario. And this information will be useful for me because in my personal life, I currently play soccer. So obviously, all of these things I've talked about will help me, such as dealing with pressure, handling an injury, and using quick thinking. And lastly, I'll remember to enjoy what I do because it's the greatest motivation for me to do better in soccer and in real life. So these are the works cited page I used. And lastly, thanks for watching.